This has to work. Mike, say something?
Yep, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The microphone's all the way up.
What?
Hello, 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 hello.
Hold on, let's go. Maybe it's not supposed to do that. Maybe it's pulled up in an actual. Maybe it's not supposed to be doing that. I say something?
Hello, test 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
It doesn't print
It doesn't do it in audio.
Oh, so your Windows was fine.
I think we had it the whole time.
I think we did.
I did.
That is stupid.
So now put the headphones on so we don't hear ourselves, right? Do we have enough light for this Barrage Fest? How's it look, Babs?
It looks fine.
That's
Looks
garbage.
okay.
That sucks. You had it right the first time.
We spiked it the first time, but it just doesn't show in
That's
previews.
just bad UI.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're like appealing to the lowest common denominator, not expecting this setup, you know?
You can hear us though, Babs? Cool. What are we drinking?
Are we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, we're going? Oh,
Hold
cool.
on, let's see. We'll double check if we're live. Everyone's like, fuck you, motherfucker. Wasted my 5 minutes. We apologize.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we're live.
I think we're live. I'm on the Wi-Fi. No, that was
I get a sounds good from HOMEBREWs.
sounds good from Carlsbad.
Okay, cool.
All right, we'll keep the chat going kind of right here. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Happy Monday. CH, this is Mike from CULVER Brewery. He did the Kavik video with us about 3 months ago.
Yeah, happy to be back. Thanks
That
for having me.
was a good video. That turned out really well.
That was a few months ago here.
He owns a brewery in Carlsbad, California. How long you guys been open?
We've been open. We would have had our 4-year anniversary last week had COVID not hit us like a brick wall.
Yep.
So we're postponing that. We're just skipping our anniversary this year. But yeah, we're up and running as best as we can right now. There it is.
This is a good delay.
So just as any other brewery in San Diego right now, we got the second round of shutdowns and kind of just doing to-go only on our food. And we have a deli just to go on beer and sandwiches right now, unfortunately.
It's a really good deli.
Yeah, good sandwiches, locally toasted. That's what. So come and pay us a visit. We're in Carlsbad, kind of near Pizza Port Bressy, Virgin, Rulers right there. And, near the whole Vista scene too, right down the street from Booze Brothers.
What's that? Maybe I should just grab it like.
I think that's good.
It's cool. Cheers, everybody. Let us know in the comment section what you guys are drinking. Chat publicly, Homebrew for Life. We're doing, what do we got here?
We got the New Zealand Lager. This is my favorite beer we brew at.
New Zealand Lager.
Very, very timely for how hot it's been lately, too. So,
dude, it is brutally hot.
It's a single hop Motueka. We use all Weirmann malt in this. We use BSI German lager yeast. And, yeah, I enjoy this beer quite a bit.
I don't think I've had this beer.
No? Oh, this goes quick. We don't keep it on tap very long. Appreciate the nice.
In, brother. Here, I get you kind of a Dave pour right here.
So, yeah, the topic at hand is tips and tricks for opening a brewery had COVID not hit us. So,
assuming the COVID wasn't around.
Yeah.
Drinking some local roots, buddy. Right on, Brittany McGregor. How you doing? Shout out to BMAC. Yeah, so we did this last week. We didn't really know what we were doing. It was cool. We got a bunch of engagement. A lot of people had a lot of questions. Seems like everyone was kind of treated kind of like a happy hour, kind of just chilling out. I like doing this podcast thing because it's pretty much like 1/100th of the production when we're actually like filming the Kavik video. And
and the people are right there.
People are right here. I mean, this is like one step up from like Facebook or Instagram in terms of production. So it's nice. Thanks for coming over.
It's a pleasure. Oh,
yeah.
It's a pleasure, dude.
So the name of the game is. Sorry, I was pouring the beers. You would have been open for 4 years this year.
Yeah, last weekend we would have had our 4th-year anniversary, our big party. Usually we have a big outdoor patio and brew a couple special beers for it. But just in lieu of everything, we're kind of keeping it down low and just running as best as we can. There's no way or need to throw a big event right now. We can't even have people inside the bar. So no big deal. It's just the reality that everyone's facing right now in 2020. So
sure. So 2020, you've been around the beer scene a while.
Yeah.
You know, we've all seen a change from 2015 to now. Back in 2015, I think there was only about 3 breweries that I went to in Vista.
Right.
Booze Brothers.
There wasn't that many. There was maybe like 6 in total in Vista.
Belching Beaver.
Belching Beaver. You had
Mother Earth Downtown.
Mother Earth Downtown.
And that was it for us. That's all I went to. You know, there was a couple Aztecs.
A few other ones, yeah.
But it seemed like everybody and their brother was opening or looking for leases around 2015.
Oh, and especially in Vista too, just how easy the city had made it for like pre-approved conditional uses. And the city of Vista is very welcoming to breweries. That's why we see such a collection of them in the industrial park. So I think it's a smart idea opening a brewery in Vista.
Little backstory on Mike. He owns the brewery with one other gentleman.
One other gentleman.
It's
Ben,
just 2 guys on the deed.
Yeah, me and Ben are both the owners.
And you're more obviously production. Ben's more kind of like the business
everything
side.
else. He does a lot of the branding, dealing with our artists and the books and the scheduling and just everything that it takes to run a business. So there's a lot more to just brewing. I got lucky that I have the fun job that I get to brew, all the challenges included in that. However, you got to make sure your books are in order. You got to make sure that, we can have money in the bank to buy raw materials. So Ben takes care of a lot of the mundane back of the house stuff, and I give him a lot of credit for doing that.
Right on. Shout out to Ben. I don't know if he'll see this or not. Probably not, I would imagine. But
You could be live right now.
you think so?
I don't know. He knows I'm doing it. He saw us. You posted. You tagged us in it.
Yeah, we probably should put it on the Homebrew for Life Instagram. Let us know we're going right now. Let us know like kind of the time too. That's cool. There's Babsy back there. He's in some of the videos. You're not obviously going to see him behind the curtain, dude. So obviously you've gone through trials and tribulations.
Yes.
You've probably put time and effort into things that did pan out and didn't pan out.
Blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah. No, and for sure, we've tried a couple different things, and we finally
I've seen the growlers come, the bombers come, the cans come.
I know, man. When I first got going in this industry, it was growlers and bombers. Just to go back to 2013, what a different world. It doesn't even seem that long ago.
I would collect them and I'd put them on my fireplace or up here, just as pretty much trash.
I love bombers. I think that is a great format.
The 22?
22 ounces, perfect serving. It's like usually $6 to $8 for a bomber.
Did you guys have a bomber machine?
We did not. We didn't. We opened right after the bombers kind of faded out into the can format.
Here's kind of like
where we're looking.
Yeah, I'm trying my best to do that, even though I have ADD and that squirrel just ran by. So it's 2020, and the pulse for this video is how would you open a brewery without obviously COVID? No one's opening any businesses right now, and if you are, you're probably on hold or delay, or you've got a big sign up that says you're not opening anytime soon. But we're going to say, forget that. We're going to say, imagine that, the world was back how it was pretty much a year ago. And I'm going to talk with Mike, and we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts. If you are an entrepreneur, and I'm just going to ask you questions, and you let me know off the top of your head, what's a success and what's a failure?
Yeah, and just the models have changed over the last couple of years. So they're not everybody is going into a large production facility.
Is the chat on, Babs? Is the chat on?
Mm-hmm.
Are people talking?
Yeah, there's a few people.
There it is. There you go. What's up, Hell's Brews down there in Mexico?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, who's that right there? Braj for Braj Life. That's right, man. Cheers, guys. Sorry, what were you saying?
I'm just saying the climate has changed a little bit. As we were just saying, we had so much
Wackadoo, what up?
So many breweries open in the North County area over the last 10 years, or last 3 years, I'd say even. So you got to have a different business model than what you would have coming in maybe 6-7 years ago. And we see breweries that came in 6 to 7 years ago that were swinging pretty hard, not really kind of surviving in the marketplace anymore.
Yeah, we don't really have to name names.
I'm not going to.
Every city probably has them and stuff. And like if you were opening up a brewery in 2020, what is it like a location thing, kind of like real estate? Like,
yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. And,
open up breweries where they're not, kind of hit them where they're not.
But even so, I think like Vista has such a collection of them. So location is huge, and definitely, are you going into an industrial warehouse? Are you going into a retail friendly area? And just how are you going to get customers into your spot when there's so many other choices nearby? And
yeah, you're doing it right. What's up, Braj? Obtain funding is the name of the game to get investors. Is it to sell off equity? Is it to have people that kind of like the Black Plagues and the St. Archers, where it's like
Big money.
big money, get the social media influencers, get everyone who's got, a grip of shine on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or X Games or.
The only advice I really give on that is make sure you bite off as much as you can chew and not really much more than that. So
do you want to would you
you can always get more money down the road and
how do you even get money as a brewer? How do you get $100,000? Say me and you want to start a brewery. How do we can we start a brewery with $200,000?
You could. Culver did. We did it for a little bit less. And you just have to be resourceful. I'm a big fan of doing Franken brews, especially if you're cash tight. That's what we did at Culver. Was we made our own system. We have a friend who's a stainless steel welder, and he was able to work for beer credit and just being a good homie. And
but how'd you get your $100,000? If it was 50-50, did you get a loan? Is it?
It was all friends and family, honestly.
It was friends and family.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was,
was there a Kickstarter? Was there a GoFundMe? Was there? Because I know Bare Roots and Northern Pine did that. They got a lot of money through.
They did, and that's a good way of going about it.
That's not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea at all.
People to buy in your system, and you got people that believe, and you put their name up on like a plaque or something.
And you'll have people coming in that
That's my name. That's my trophy. That's my beer. I get free beer for life. I get my mug, my coin, my loyalty program.
Modern Times was the first one that came out with a real strong Kickstarter and kind of set the momentum forward on the Kickstarter.
That's a huge thing to hit on, right? Like if you're open a brewery, focus on that first. You have people that are going to want to
support their community and be a part of it. Everybody wants to be a part of a brewery or a bar.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now they can be directly to you.
And not only that, but we live in this world now where asking for money or GoFundMe, whether it's hospital bills or people get, evicted, we have a good donating culture now.
True. Very true.
That was not 10 years ago. You'd be like, fuck out of my face. What, you asking me for money? Coming to my door soliciting or something? But, and I think with that, there also comes a domino effect. I think social media sees that guy's doing it, so now I'll throw $100 at, or I've seen it, people starting up breweries, hospital bills, funerals and memorials and stuff like that. And I think that's a really good thing to bank on. If I was to start a brewery, which I'm not, nor will I ever will, I would put a lot of emphasis on a Kickstarter.
Yeah, for sure.
Or GoFundMe or whatever.
And
I don't know how the tax deductible or what you pay on that or the service fees are, but I'd imagine you get the majority of it. Yeah,
I think you get the majority of it, and they don't have any equity in your company. They kind of gave you X amount of dollars for this in trade. Whether it's $100 for, I don't know, a keg a year or something. I don't know how it works. We haven't done a Kickstarter with Culver, but I've seen a few of them do really well. And I'm sure if you even go to Kickstarter or GoFundMe right now, you can find a decent amount of breweries advertising what they're doing. Totally for it. I mean, that's just kind of
that's probably the number one thing is how do you obtain money?
The financial, yeah.
What's the best no risk, lowest risk courses of action?
Friends and family is definitely going to be your lowest risk if you already know a group of people. I mean, we're both here from North County, San Diego, so we did have a big pool of people to kind of draw from. Ben luckily had a lot of people to draw from his personal network as well. So we didn't have to take out a traditional loan through a bank, thankfully, and then just the terms on a friends and family are a little bit less, contract based. I don't know what the best way of phrasing it is, but it's a friends and family. It's not a traditional investment. Sure. So that's how we did it. I know that's how I'm pretty sure Booze Brothers did a lot of friends and family when they first got going. I think a lot of people do friends and families right off the bat. You can go to a bank and get a loan, and that's something where you have to write a business plan. Do you have any collateral to offer towards it? And that's a little bit more tricky of a route, but banks do loan and lend out. I just wouldn't do a 100% bank loan if you're opening a brewery.
What about for the most breweries that open, Battle Mage, Culver, local breweries that I go to, it seems like the owners are the brewers.
And I'm very much in favor of brewer-owned breweries,
right?
Just like I like chef-owned restaurants,
which is a good thing because I always compared restaurants to breweries. It's kind of even kind of what guys make, entry level guys, $16-17 an hour. You kind of work your way to sous chef is kind of like head brewer,
right.
Owners,
absolutely, 100%.
And there's not a lot of restaurants that the owner is the chef, but those probably are the best restaurants. Those probably are like the nicest restaurants. But what do you think the percentage is of like, because I've talked to people that want to open brewery and they're like, oh, I need like a Mori or something. It's like, I think nowadays you have to be the brewer.
I just think you have more on the line if you're a brewery that's owned somewhat. It doesn't have to be full owned by a brewer. You're going to make your name's on the line. You know, you want to make sure you're coming out with the best possible product.
But it keeps the price down. Like if you're back to opening up a brewery, like if you don't want to pay a guy, $40,000 salary, right? Like you want to be that guy.
Well, that and you're not going through a consultant necessarily, who might upsell you on what you may or may not need. I see some breweries where they don't come from the brewing world and went through a consulting agency and they just they got sold on some things that may not have been necessary. So having the experience of being a brewery, I recommend if you're opening a brewery, absolutely work in a brewery for a long time before you take that risk.
Understand the reality of
the game and just
everybody. That's a good thing because everybody, like when I was working at Booze Brothers, everyone comes in and they're like, I just want to work here. Like they think it's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Like they think it's like we're just chugging beers all day, and we are on Friday nights.
You get a shift beer, no worries.
Right, but it goes back.
Couple shift beers on Fridays.
Couple shift beers. Obviously, probably a little bit less for the production guys. Obviously the tasting room guys we're not operating forklifts and stuff like that. But everybody would come in and be like, I want to work here. I want to work here. I'll work here for free. I'll work for free. It's like everybody says that, and then you get a job at a brewery, and like Maury's go-to glorified saying is like, I'm a janitor that brews beer sometimes.
Oh,
like,
absolutely, yeah.
More cleanup than I'm doing brewing. So with Mike saying, opening up a brewery, understand the reality of it. Everyone's got this Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. We're all, just eating candy and chugging beers all day and, just sing along, and Coyote ugly girls are dancing at the bar. But no, it's very blue collar.
It's running a business. It's tight
very
margins.
Blue collar.
And I love manufacturing. I love the brewing world. I don't think I'd be doing anything else with it.
I would brew way more if I didn't have to. A brew day, it's a full day of work. Imagine throwing a camera in there now and trying to get every shot, and then editing the video 3-4 days. Like if I didn't do the YouTube editing, I would be doing way more brewing.
Exactly.
I love brewing, and one thing I've noticed about brewing is like when you start out brewing, you're doing it and it's like 4 or 5 people and it generally becomes like a shit show pretty fast. But like I've noticed brewing by myself or with one other person is way more enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
I'm
you're synced up.
You're synced up. You remember everything. You're not, letting shit get too hot, or now you got,
you got your system dialed in.
You strike with the boil, and now you got to let it cool down.
Exactly.
So I enjoy that more. I'm kind of veering off. But another question I wanted to ask you as I grab a beer: do you have to have a partner? If you to people out there that want to start breweries, people out there, everyone's got the brewery dream in the back of their mind. I want to open up a brewery. I'm there too. If I ever open up a brewery, it'd be in Mexico, the city from wherever they ended the movie Shawshank Redemption. I would do it as far away from Vista, San Diego as humanly possible.
I've always wanted to do the Mountain Town Brewery. I think those ones kill it. Alpine, June Lake.
I'd love to go to June Lake.
Yeah, dude, they're cool spots.
But do you need a partner? Could you,
brewing is not the only thing you're doing. Yeah,
you guys, Battle Mage, Culver, Booze Brothers. It's always kind of like
you have the two sides of the coin. Right. You got to make sure the paychecks don't bounce. You got to make sure that there's money in the bank. I don't have time to do everything. I got to make sure the beer is moving through. I recommend it's nice to have the ebb and flow, the headbutt of having a partner, because if it's only one person, then there's only one person making the decisions. Unless you have
twice as much stress. I mean, who do you trust when you want to go out of town for 2 days and you got to put, a minimum wage guy in charge and he doesn't know what the hell is going on?
Yeah, completely agree.
Beer?
I'm good on this one for now.
You've got a couple of questions and one donation.
I got a donation.
Where's the donation from?
Britta.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Britta.
Shout out to Local Roots. Should we do the tart cherry?
Yeah, the blackberry one, yeah.
Was this it?
The other growler? Purple Church.
Throw us in the comment section what you guys are drinking tonight. We're sipping on, how would you describe this Purple Church? This is obviously Culver. He brought over some crowlers.
That's a kettle sour.
Hold on. My issue is the other way around. I brew everything, but there are a few I don't like all. What did he say?
Read the one before that.
They kind of like show up for 5 seconds and then take off.
We're watching the stream.
We're watching it from a phone.
Are there certain styles of beer you would like to brew but are limited because they don't sell? At what point do you cut the certain styles?
That's kind of like Maureen, like Belagoat. Like his favorite beer was like an Irish or a Belgian, and it's just like it's sooner or later. It's like you have to sell what the customer wants. It's not all about what you want. It's
It's definitely another
give and take, right.
It's like we do get a lot of people into the tasting room at Culver Beer because we do
take it out of my paycheck.
A couple different styles that maybe some other breweries in town don't offer. So I like to brew Belgian beers. One of our flagship and surprisingly one of our best sellers is like a Belgian blonde. And Ben was willing to take that risk on having that as one of our flagships, and it's actually turned out pretty well. But I can't sell a stout or a porter for the life of me. I probably brewed 4 different varieties.
Even in winter?
Yeah, unless it's a barrel-aged Imperial Russian, it will not sell.
Because that's like the beer snob that they're the guy that
I think it's just the
fills
collective
out the map and wants to go on Untapped. He's actually looking for that. Like it's like a halo beer for him.
I think it's a collective conscious. Just San Diego is very heavy IPA. And nothing wrong with that. I love IPA.
Shout out to Kevin Columbus who just donated $5. Kevin,
$5.
Cruise over here if you want to. We're hanging out. We're probably gonna do this for like another hour. Should we do a mandatory beer check every time we get a donation?
I gotta get my.
You gotta drive.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you can do it though.
We should do a GoFundMe for an Uber.
Get my
Uber bill. Should GoFundMe for my unpaid parking tickets.
So obviously we have like 5 to 6 IPAs at Culver out of 17 taps that we run. So as long as we can guarantee those to our accounts and it's good, huh?
Yeah.
Have our 40 to 60% of our beer that we sell is IPAs. The rest of it, I do get to have a little fun with it, have input from my business partner as well as our salesperson and everything else. It's a collective effort rather than me just saying I want to brew a Roush beer or something crazy like that. We need to move units at the end of the day. That's what pays my paycheck.
Do you think the IPA craze is still as strong as it was?
Oh yeah,
5 years ago. West Coast IPAs,
not West Coast.
Hazy IPAs are probably the most popular beer right now.
Yeah, West Coast IPAs definitely have a loyal following, and most of our clientele, like our best-selling beer, is a West Coast IPA.
Streetwalker
IPA. So we got cans of that too, right? Yeah.
We have another one? You got 16 ounce.
16 ounces.
Okay, we'll do that next. And throw us questions if you guys have any. I don't know how many people are.
Did we answer that question all the way?
Yeah. I don't know how many people are actually. Babs, hit us with it.
Off topic, what are your thoughts on brewery memberships?
I think it's a good idea, kind of going back to the whole like GoFundMe thing we talked about, where it's like there are people in the world that want to go into a brewery and see their name on like a fundraiser thing or like a Kickstarter thing. And like Bare Roots, they do $100 membership for a year, and you get to drink out of a mug. So it's a 20-ounce glass,
right?
And I mean, you gotta spend a lot of money there to get your money back to make that $100 back. That's like 100 pints, like you gotta.
But the cool thing is, those people are going to keep coming back. They're going to spend.
It's a neighborhood bar.
It's a neighborhood.
It's a neighborhood bar.
It's their local, right?
It's a creature of habit bar.
So
people love that. And if you have like kind of that, like I don't know, people pay for country clubs. People pay $50,000 a year to eat fucking omelets and golf.
And this is such a hyper local industry.
Sure.
Too. Like if you had a brewery on that corner over there that had a Mug Club membership, you'd probably pay for it.
I would want it.
You would want it because you're going to walk there every day.
And I would probably sell it. Like if I owned a brewery, I probably would have some sort of like.
We have a Mug Club membership, and it's mostly for people get their money's worth real quick. Yeah, we do same thing. 22-ounce mug for a 16-ounce price. You get 10% off
for a year.
For 1 year, you get 10% off your deli sandwich purchases, and then we have random like without COVID 2 to 3 events a year. It's been a little weird right now.
Yeah.
But people get their money's worth real quick because they're getting 10% off their deli meal. Come visit us 10, 20 times. You'll pay for the membership just in discounts.
And everyone's got their own kind of like, everyone has.
They want to know
10% off merch or half off, not half off merch. But
we know them by name. It's their local Cheers,
right? And your beers aren't even expensive to begin with.
No, I
would do it. So I think it's a good idea. I think I think it's a community thing. Like you would never do it at like, you nailed it. It's totally you would never do it at like Chili's,
right?
Or like
100%. Yeah.
You'd be the biggest scumbag in the world if you went into Islands and were like the regular.
Here's
like,
my club.
Well, you're the guy that's like there every day, just perving on the Hooters chick. Hooters, dude. Imagine if you were like the Hooters mug club guy.
That'd be great. Get a free wing every day.
Dude, you'd look like Newman from Jurassic Park, man. You're just that guy. Just perving out all day.
Do we still have Hooters around here?
Hooters is around.
I know the one off the 78 shut down.
Hooters is tight, dude.
Yeah, I've never been.
It's where I had my wedding and my funeral. We got any more questions, Babs? How to open up a brewery? You guys,
To sum it up, Mug Club, yes, I'd recommend it.
absolutely. It's a neighborhood thing. People want to get involved and do it.
They'll buy it. They'll buy it. They want to support you.
I think Bare Roots, they do like just 100. Like we're gonna do 100.
We do 100 hard. Yeah.
100 hard. So it's like kind of creates a sense of urgency. It's like it's not for everybody. We're not selling it to tourists. We're not selling it to out of towners. We're not selling it to.
We're selling it to the guy that comes in twice, 3 times a week.
Right.
you
Like
know?
when I was working at a winery 10 years ago, 12 years ago, you try to sign up wine clubs for everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a whole
the
thing.
friend of a
Wineries.
friend of a friend, everyone's wife, everyone's, just turned 21. How do we get there? Credit
Babs,
card
we got some more I see rolling in, huh?
we got some questions.
So, Brutes. So they coming back rebranded as low carb health beer.
Brutes?
Brutes. BREWERY.
I could see that being rebranded as a keto IPA. I don't know if anybody can call it a keto IPA with trademark issues, but it would be a keto IPA. I see Thorn Street coming out with something like that, and I haven't had it, but you could rebrand it as a super low carb IPA. Make it like 4.5%. I think it would do well. Sufferfest is a health oriented or like a low carb, I believe. They use the enzyme.
It's funny how that worked.
And Sierra Nevada, I think, bought Sufferfest.
Remember before craft beer when it was like Michelob Light, 100 calories, like everything was like light beer.
Oh yeah,
Like remember before craft beer, like Stella Artois was huge, like all the billboards and
everywhere.
100 calories or less. It's kind of coming back to that.
Well, especially everyone's just a little bit more health conscious. We're getting
It's
a lot more.
summertime. It's hot. It's a seasonal beer. Lawnmower beers, cold crushers.
Trying to think who else around town is doing low carb beers. It's I definitely see a market in it. I just don't see a lot of people moving quickly towards it.
Well, not even that. Like everyone's doing like craft pilsner now. Like everyone's doing
Yeah,
everything. Like back in we were talking about earlier. 5 years ago, Stone Brewing would be like, you're not worthy. Pretty much, you're a pussy. Drink our 8% beers, you fucking pussy. And now, I remember that Greg Koch guy. I don't know him. He doesn't know me. I could talk as much shit or, go off the cuff or whatever. But remember their whole like stickers, like yellow fizz is for wussies and like yellow fizz is like this shit.
Oh yeah, you still see it on there. I have one of their glasses.
They just came out with a lager with like Metallica on it.
Right.
And I heard Greg Koch just like cruise the world with Metallica on their last tour, kissing their ass, promoting his beer.
100%. What sucks about the industry is like beer. I mean, if
you're not worthy.
If
Here's our 4.4.
if kombucha is a health food and wine is a health food, beer is absolutely a health food. We just can't advertise
beer is food.
That being the case, it's food. I mean,
it's broth.
It's
bread. It's water.
It's nutritious at the very least. Maybe too nutritious if you have too many of them.
I'm gonna give up everything for Lent except drinking beer. I'm gonna try to live off beer for 40 days.
There's an article of a gentleman who followed the ancient monk or the monk way of going through Lent, which you're only allowed to drink, and he lost like 25 pounds and
drink alcohol, drink beer.
He made his own very dextrin forward beer, so it had a lot of nutrients. You can Google it. I don't know the exact search terms, but he lived just fine. It will keep you alive.
He lived to tell about it. We got another question, Babs?
Another one, would it be wise just to distribute as opposed to starting a brewery? I'm assuming they'd be tasting room.
It's pretty much like talking about cultures. Here's the thing about margins of beer. You're going to have your best margins at your tasting room by far, not even close. Hands down, not even close. So I work at a brewery before COVID. I work at a brewery. I pour beer a couple nights a week called Culture Brewing. It's a great place. We have great beer. We're on the coast. Encinitas, Solana Beach. I don't think there's too many people from San Diego watching this. It doesn't matter what locations I talk about. But we do not distribute. We do not sell our kegs to restaurants. We do not sell our kegs to dive bars and clubs and whatever. We just open up new tasting rooms. And I think we're growing. It's tough to tell right now because COVID's such a life slap on the wrist. Like no one really can gauge kind of like their forecast. It's just
right now is weird.
It's just a weird time. Everyone's just more focused on kind of getting, unemployment extended and bailout money. But I like Cultures.
I like their model. I think that's a smart model.
I think it's a smart model. The distribution game, what does Stone take? 30%?
I mean, you can self-distribute around
You
here
can
as well,
self-distribute.
but it's the margins are thin. You're thinking,
Well, let's talk about that. So
Yeah.
so Stone would take 30%, but if you self-distribute, you have to be paying a guy what, $15 an hour.
you have to have a sales rep, you have to have the delivery driver.
What if it's the same guy?
Then you're sacrificing him selling something by picking up kegs.
So he's not going to be selling as much,
Right?
Because he's going to be on the road way too much. You have to have a big van. Does the van have to have temperature control?
I mean, ideally, sure, yeah, but I mean, in reality, like if you're just doing super local distribution, you can get it to them quickly. Our distribution model is we don't go outside of a 15-mile radius for keg distribution. And because if you lose a keg on distribution, there goes $220. And
what do you mean?
Like the actual vessel, the cooperage of the keg. So say you
have to have a guy that collects them. You have to have a guy that picks them up when, the restaurant.
You have to have a hustler as a salesperson. And so I like Mother Earth's way of going, where they don't really distribute kegs all that much, at least in the San Diego area. They're very much focused on selling 4-packs or 6-packs of their canned beverage at the local grocery stores. Selling kegs out to the restaurant is revenue coming in, but at the end of the day, it's challenging. You're competing with a lot of different people. Can sales have their own challenges? Don't get me wrong, but it's just you're working all that much extra effort to produce a little bit more beer. And
what is this? Let's talk about sales between how much you'd make off a keg in-house versus.
I like the tasting room model that Culture's doing. Don't get me wrong, because you're making the most amount of money per fluid ounce.
For a craft beer, what do you guys sell a keg for? $185, $190,
$165 to $200. Yeah.
Okay, but how much would you make off that if you sold $6 or $7 pints in-house?
$600 to $700.
Right. So
per keg, per individual keg. Yeah.
So just by having your own keg in your own house, you make 3 to 4 times as much.
So if I wanted to go open a brewery, I would do a retail friendly area and make sure I can move as many fluid ounces through my tasting room as possible to make the most amount of money.
Sure. And all you're hiring for that person is a minimum wage person in California. What's $11, $12 an hour?
I think it's 12 now. Yeah.
Right. So the guy that's collecting the $200 keg or the paycheck, he's getting paid more. You have a van for him. You have insurance for him.
Yeah.
So distribution, obviously the sky is the limit. Sky's the limit. If you can sell cakes all day, sell cakes all day. But the margins go like that real fast.
And if your sales dude is only moving, maybe 5 kegs a week versus maybe 20 to 40, all of a sudden those margins get really, really small because you're paying for the sales rep and the van and the gas and the insurance and everything else included in that. So
how many pints are in a keg?
125.
125 16-ounce pours.
Yeah.
That's assuming they're pouring good.
Right. Right. Without foam and everything else.
Nobody pours better than a brewer because we like brewers. I'm serious. Like if I brew a 5-gallon batch, like I want that. I go, when I'm working with these girls of culture or Booze Brothers or wherever I've worked, and they're just like cranking it out. I was like, what are you doing? Like, it's just like,
you wasted.
I hate when people waste beer. I hate when people waste food, but I hate when people waste beer even more.
So definitely, I don't completely discount keg distribution. We have some great accounts all across town that we're going to keep for sure. We're just not actively pursuing any new accounts currently.
The sky's the limit, but the margins are nominal compared to.
Bet your sales rep. Get a hustler who wants to. I want a little bit of that.
So what's the name? Yeah. That's all you, brother. So what's the name of the game for to get a sales rep? Just get a commission only guy, like a real estate agent.
Also
real
kind of
gritty, cutthroat.
We incentivize our salespeople. We have a good commission rate.
Mom type guy.
We have a good commission rate. And we also allow them to work the bar a couple nights a week to get some extra tips through the tasting room. And we want to make sure our sales rep feels like he's a key member of our team, and we want to make sure that they're taken care of. But at the end of the day, like it's San Diego, there's 120 odd breweries competing for shelf spots. So again, I really do enjoy the culture, the kilowatt, those models where it's tasting modern times, tasting room heavy. They know that's where they're getting the majority of their margin is through the tasting room.
You gave me a good idea for a question, and I'm sure there's a lot of politics involved in beer buying because you're talking about.
I'm glad I don't have to do beer sales. It's hard.
I would imagine. I'd imagine it'd be tough to be a beer buyer, like to work at a gastropub, and you have 20 guys coming in a day with their 4-ounce cans or their 8-ounce cans.
Yeah.
At some point, it's political. Do you have the most Instagram followers, or you guys have the Tony Hawk?
It's not even about the beer. It's a conversation outside of the beer.
So it's very little to do with
personality.
Okay.
Of the sales rep.
Which is scary because it should be all about the beer.
Should
be all about the beer.
But he's getting so many sales reps coming in every week. you
Right,
know?
and after-
he almost gets annoyed, or he or she almost gets annoyed by seeing a sales rep. You know,
Do you think it's better if
this is San Diego specifically. Excuse me.
San Diego is what's the most populated beer cities in the world? Portland, San Diego,
I would imagine
Denver.
Denver for sure. Austin, I would assume it has a
Something
pretty
in
big,
Texas.
Yeah.
So it's probably a little bit different. We're talking kind of the more cutthroat, kind of worst case scenario situations. But you're right. You know, as a beer buyer, it's a tough job. Everyone's got a tough job.
You got to be,
And not only that, just because you get the beer on tap there doesn't mean it's going to sell.
And you have to have a backup waiting for them when they pop out of that. Yeah.
Just because you get, you know, the Compass where we go all the time. I see new beers there all the time.
And I don't mean to be doom and gloom. I'm just trying to give the reality of it.
The only beers that I will always see consistently is, I think it's still Sculpin. Sculpin has like its almost little like it bats third on everywhere. You know, it's like
They just know it'll sell. People know what Sculpin is, what it tastes like, and
the thing about Sculpin is it's not even like a beer style. It's almost like a marketing tool. People don't know. My mom probably doesn't know it's an IPA, but she knows the word Sculpin. So if she gets a question asked to her, she's going to say Sculpin. Ultimately, probably not to look like an idiot.
And just
I'm one of the boys. I know Sculpin.
Name recognition, you know?
Yeah. You think that's still the most popular IPA in the nation?
Oh, I don't know about the nation. I don't even know about San Diego at this point. I'm excited to see what Ballast. I'm excited to see what they do with the new ownership and now that they're technically a San Diego.
Because they sold again.
They sold again to Kings and Convicts out of Chicago, but I think they're giving a lot more empowerment to their San Diego people.
You know, everybody in North Park started buying Sculpin as soon as they sold out. Like they were like pretty loyal to mom and pop stuff, which is awesome.
That was
San Diego's kind of built in two cities. For those who don't know, there's like
it made national news. You know, that $1 billion
Constellation.
That's why it might be hard as a person trying to go into business right now to open a brewery and get a bank loan, is because of that $1 billion buyout that didn't really pan out all that well.
Ballast Point definitely won on that. Constellation definitely lost.
Constellation lost.
Ballast Point sold at the highest it was ever probably.
They're going to go public. They were about to go public, and Constellation came in, and before you go public, you have the option of
Constellation fucked that one up.
They did. They fucked up a lot of things. They fucked up a winery in South Africa.
It's Modelo and Corona and.
Yeah, Modelo. The only reason they have Modelo is because the Department of Justice made Anheuser-Busch sell off Modelo, and Constellation bought it up.
Dude, there's big money in beer, man. Diageo and all these.
Google Modelo. They're kind of doing something shady in Mexico City, a border city.
We can talk shit about them.
I don't mind. I don't care
outside of San Diego.
Anyways,
we're talking.
Was that the question?
I don't know. You guys got some Babs? You got a question for us? We see him come up.
So Ben wants to know. He wants to buy a 3-barrel system. In
3-barrel system.
2 years, but he's having a hard time finding locations zoned correctly to lease and buy.
Ben? Where do you live? What city are you in? We should have like a call in.
A 3-barrel. I'd kind of vouch for more.
That's Bear Roots.
That's true. That is Bear Roots. Go for a 5, so that way at least you can get a 10-barrel batch with a double batch.
The bummer about Bear Roots is that they would have to brew like twice
nonstop.
in the same day.
Nonstop.
Like you're just brewing pretty much like Stone. Like
you want to make sure you have the
morning,
inventory.
Midi, night.
What the question was, they're having trouble finding
a place that's zoned to buy.
My best advice for you is reach out to your economic developer for your city. And their whole job is to get new businesses in their community. And we reached out to her name was, it doesn't matter, City of Carlsbad. We reached out to the economic developer, and she was a wealth of resources. So reach out to your economic developer, and they'll be able to help you out.
What city was Ben in, though? He might have cut out. Anybody else got, Babs, you got more questions? They show up on our end, and then they dissolve after like 5 seconds.
Kevin asks, when does merch play into the picture with additional revenue?
Day one.
I would say day one, and to kind of further expand upon that, like make sure you have a good brand presence, and I
want to talk about that when you're done.
It's a huge.
You should repeat it too, because you can't hear me.
Sorry. So we're talking about when do you want to start focusing on merch as a brewery brand? Correct? Is that the question?
Yeah.
How much?
Start right away or pull pulled off.
I would say before you even open up your brewery, make sure you have
for sure,
a strong branding experience. Look at Booze Brothers when they first opened up versus now.
That's a good point.
It's incredibly strong. Look at Culver when we first opened up versus where we are now, much stronger. And you think about it in a triangle, like you have to have really good beer to even be considered an option. But the next step up is you have to have a really solid branding experience. I've had bad beer by breweries that have good branding, and they seem to go further than breweries with good beer and bad branding.
I like that. And as far as my experience with buying merch from Homebrew for Life is that if you look at the traditional beer drinker, the beer buyer, I can show you my analytics that show up. It's pretty much males. If I look at my Google Analytics, because Google gets your information when you sign up for a Gmail account. Most people don't lie about those types of things. The people that watch Homebrew for Life are probably the same people that are going to breweries consistently. It's 25 to 45-year-old males. So
the margins are good.
Right. When I first started like getting into merch, I was like, oh, let's do like baby onesies or like tank tops for girls. It's like, no, you want to focus on like t-shirts,
large, XL, double XL.
And I was gonna say is like,
sorry.
when I buy from whatever across the street from Booze Brothers,
we do too.
Daily Printing, the t-shirts that I buy, they're, I don't know, 8 or 9, but we buy at such small quantities because we do 50 quantities per batch.
Right.
And obviously it's, the more you buy, the more you save type thing with merch. If you want to buy 1,000 t-shirts at a time, you could probably get it for half of what we do. But 2X and 3X cost more than small through large or a flat rate price. 2X, 3X. I don't even know if we do 4X. But here's my thing. We would buy like 45 large t-shirts and then like we'd buy like 25 large, 25 XL, and then like, 10 2X and then like 5 3X.
Right.
Our 2X would sell out like that
immediately.
But I'm like, I can't get a minimum order now. I'm not going to spend another $800 to get shirts. It's like,
that's where we fall on it. We fell in that trap many times.
Don't buy smalls. Don't buy women's clothes. Don't buy beach stuff. Don't buy shit that looks like Abercrombie and Fit. Don't buy it's a culture. It's like.
And get a graphic artist.
I think of like Al Borland from Home Depot, from Home Improvement. When I think of like my target audience of like who I'm buying, this merch for. Don't get too crazy. Less is more. Less is totally more.
Limit your colors.
Trucker hats, t-shirts, and then
again, people want to support you as best as they can. So like if they dig your spot, like your branding, they're gonna pick up a shirt in a heartbeat.
But again, it's gonna be mostly guys. Like me and Donnie run, and I see so much Booze Brothers merch because they kind of have that skateboarding brand, kind of cool vibe to them. For 20 guys, I don't even see girls wear it. I don't even see girls wear it.
It's a good outlet, and people will buy it.
Maybe a hat, maybe a sweatshirt. I think girls probably more prone to actually buy a sweatshirt. A what?
It's like
Beanies.
Beanies, true.
Yeah, but the thing about like as far as merch goes, like there's a trickle down thing. Like the most things people are going to buy are t-shirts, and then it's going to be hats, and then it's going to be beanies and sweatshirts for the winter, and then tank tops and whatever for the summer. So
before you open, I would.
The merch game is very strategic, dude.
Yeah,
it is very strategic,
and it's expensive if you don't sell them.
I've got 100 shirts. No one buys my shit. I'm gonna set up a GoFundMe to buy t-shirts. That would be funny. That's a joke. Just donate $15, which is the price of or $20, price of a t-shirt. You just donated to like support Homebrew for Life awareness. Let me show them a shirt.
You're giving away your secrets, bud.
All right. I get a lot of dumb jokes that fly through my brain 24/7. So that's
merch is a huge outlet. It's advertising. It's free advertising.
And do it before you're even open.
If somebody's wearing your shirt around town, that's my favorite thing is when I see people wearing Culver Beer Company shirts around town.
That's gonna be the best compliment.
I love it. It's so cool. Yeah.
And you guys also have like one of the coolest.
We have good branding. Spencer Ramsey.
Check out. That's your artist.
That's our artist.
Check out Culver on Instagram. It's like a drunk Garfield. It's kind of like Calvin and Hobbes on a sick one. Yeah. And they do like animations with it. There's a lot of like, quick comic book humor that I like. Very
get a really good artist on retainer and work closely with them. Because once you start making good beer, now if you want to get your beer out to the market, you have to have really good branding. Unfortunately, I wish good beer would sell itself, but you need good branding to make it happen.
I don't know what's cool or not. I just try to focus on shitty jokes, but I know there's people that do have these eye for these things, and I'm not one of them. So
I think the stat is,
but I do
if,
like your stuff.
If you pick up a 4-pack,
Bandanas are coronavirus stuff. Absolutely.
what's the next one?
Like cold.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. The next. Yeah, definitely sell your COVID masks.
So Ben replied, and he's from Tulsa. The guy asked him about zoning, and apparently out there you have to be zoned industrial. So that's what he's having a hard time.
It's pretty much Vista.
That's pretty common out here too.
Yeah.
But just know that zones can be changed, or you can have a conditional use to allow for your use in a zone that's not for your use. So again, just reach out to your city, and they're willing to work with you. And you might have to meet with the city council or their planning commission. But that's why Vista is so popular, is because they're pre-approved for breweries. Carlsbad is not. We had to go through the city planning commission as well as the city council to allow for our use that wasn't allowed in planned industrial.
And it's kind of
It's very technical.
And it's also a gamble for the landlord. Like when I interviewed Battle Mage, they were like, why wait for a brewery when we could just have a warehousing come in and they just plug in and stuff? It's like breweries are going to come in,
dig up your floor,
drill for drains, find sewer pipes, find, water
drinking on your property,
water lines. Alcohol is always a liability, especially in the United States. Alcohol. My mom lives in Uruguay. When I go down there, we can just walk around and drink on the beach. It's a very liable thing in the United States. They make a ton of money off people fucking up, getting in trouble.
And your planned industrial zones are going to be mostly not in retail areas. That's just how cities are zoned.
Right.
But if there's a will, there's a way. You can change zonings. You can get a conditional use for your zone. So
keep grinding with that dream out there in Tulsa,
honestly.
Oklahoma, Ben, with that 3-barrel system, man. Keep us posted on what the name's going to be, and like Mike said, get that merch going now if you're really serious about opening up in the next year or two. Who dat? Matt Merrill? What up? What up, Matt Merrill?
What up?
What up, you Braj? Babs, anything else?
You got a generic one process of going homebrew to starting a brewery.
Working a brewery. Hands down.
And
it's easier to scale down than scale up.
And going with what I talk about with the Battle Mage guys. I grew up with there's good friends that I've known since day one that started a brewery. And with that, they were saying that it's way better to work at a homebrew store, which are scarce, because it's better to learn about recipe development than it is just kind of like, turning nozzles and, heating up and cooling down. Focus on the recipe development. That was their argument.
As well as knowing just the technical side of it too. Sure. I agree. Both of those are incredibly. Get a head brewer that's motivated.
Right.
And we'll work with you. I scaled down from a 30-barrel to a 10-barrel, and that was easier than scaling up from a 5-gallon to a 300-gallon.
So just get a job and as a 9-to-5 and understand the reality of like what it takes to
before you throw it down. Yeah, I would say so.
I remember I got a job offer.
And not to say it doesn't work otherwise, but that's just my recommendation.
Sure. I remember way back in the day, 10 years ago, I think I got like a second phone call from Mother Earth to do like bottling line. It's like, this is going to be a tedious, shitty job, but this is the reality of putting beer together.
And that's the entry level. That's kind of the earn your in this
Homer Simpson just falling asleep at the conveyor belt.
I did that. I took bombers off a line. Get into some podcasts. You'll get through it all.
Yeah.
I recommend working in a brewery before you start your own brewery.
Okay. So this is one we skipped, this early one. It ties into this. How do you not get laughed out of the room when you show up with a resume at a brewery?
How do you not get laughed out of a room showing up with a resume in a brewery?
I can't touch this one.
I don't laugh anybody out of the room. Are they saying that's it right there?
That's it.
Here's the thing.
If you're coming in as a home
makes
brewer.
What
makes a good resume? Here's what not to do.
What makes a good resume?
My girlfriend has horror stories of people that say, like girls that go. My girlfriend runs a hard kombucha tasting room in Vista, where over by the brews we're talking about, and girls will legitimately come in. And on their resume, they'll write like, I have 10,000 Instagram followers and I want to be a social media influencer. And congratulations, that resume just went straight to the trash can. Because all that means is that you're going to be staring at your phone the whole time. and you're going to be a shitty worker.
You won't clean the bathrooms at the end of the night.
And you're going to be glued to your Instagram, your shitty Facebook page, and you're not going to. No one gives a fuck about your Instagram followers. You got to do a job, and that's the job. No one cares how popular you are. Here's the price we're paying you. That's it. And some girl the other day emailed Britta her resume on Facebook. So Britta immediately looks at her profile pictures, and this dumb chick's like flicking off the camera, has like a fake gun. It's like, I don't know what to do, but here's what not to do. Like, don't post weird shit on social media, because the first thing that your job or the PR guy's going to look for is probably pull up your name on Facebook or Instagram. And I would set that to private. I post more dumb shit than anybody, but set it to private.
I would say with that question, I don't know who's laughing at you for why. Just don't get discouraged. And, if you're a home brewer and brand new, no industrial.
Britta didn't like that. She writes something.
If you have no industry experience, definitely go to one of the bigger guys and just get in and get some resume. Get your resume going. That's all that matters. This is an earn your salt industry, and start earning your salt.
What did Britta just say? Good advice getting hired from a resume.
Recent hire was a resume I had on file.
Right. Yeah.
So it doesn't always happen right then and then.
Exactly.
And I would say just be persistent. If I had somebody that showed face and wasn't an idiot that I could tell like over and over and over, I mean, you can't deny persistency. Like, that's super respectable.
Right. Oh yeah. And so yeah, I guess I didn't know the specific context of that question, but yeah, just don't get discouraged. Keep trying. It's a hard industry to get into.
It's a real hard industry to get into, especially now.
Streetwalker.
Yeah. Streetwalker name designer. Streetcar names. How do you come up with beer names, Mike?
It's a challenge. It's a challenge. That's it right there.
Here's my boy right there.
Yeah,
here's the logo of Mike's Brewery, Culver. It's cool as hell. It's like Garfield.
Drunk Garfield.
It's Drunk Garfield on a fucking sick one.
Dude, we have fun with our branding, that's for sure.
I love your brand. What's his name?
Spencer. Yeah, Spencer kills it, dude. He's a North County local as well.
No, his name.
Oh, that's Carl the cat.
Carl the cat. Carlsbad.
Carlsbad, exactly, dude. Every year for the anniversary. Carlsbad habit. Carlsbad.
Carl the cat. Oh, one more. So check them out on Instagram. They've got some pretty fun posts, and they get kind of fun with it. They step outside of the traditional cell phone.
We take it very seriously, but our branding is very loose and
I love it.
Playful.
I love it.
Hit us with the next one.
Someone's asking, I've been interested in combining a barcade and a brewery.
Dude, coin up. Best idea ever for me. I'm a huge
yeah, go ahead and read that back.
Pretty much. Okay, so the name of the game is open up a barcade. We're talking about like a coin op, North Park, where you have like retro video games, and a coin op has a full bar. It's actually not a brewery. They don't do their stuff there. It is my favorite place on planet Earth to go. But North Park, and from where we live, San Diego, like I was kind of mentioning earlier, it's pretty much two different cities. It's about 40 minutes away. And I would, if it was in Carlsbad, this little beach town that we live in, I'd be there every day.
Honestly, I've been there. Yeah.
I think it's the greatest.
I think Pizza Port makes a lot of money off of their arcades that they have.
They've just got like 2 or 3
in each location.
Yeah, I forgot about the Bressy Ranch one. I think it's a great idea to incorporate. I think
you can do your whole branding around that. You could have some fun with that, honestly.
And honestly, if I were to open up an arcade bar, I would do retro video games, because you're already going to get the kids, and you're going to get the adults that remember like Street Fighter and
you get the kids. If they get the kids interested,
X-Men.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is, like, if you look at arcades nowadays, they're like 75 cents. You have to have a card. It's like, get the quarter game. Get
the old school.
Get the Ninja Turtles, the Sunset Riders.
I agree.
The Area 51, Cruising USA.
I think it would differentiate you in the market. It won't do you any harm in having that. It's an extra profit stream as well, having the arcade. So I would say dive in. That'd be fun. Me and my friends who grew up, all my chums from Encinitas, we go to Round Table once a year, and we beat Sunset Riders. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like back in the day growing up, like, young kids, we all had, enough room to play it. But now it's like
now grown adults,
35-year-old guys, like, kind of like the guy that's on the left and on the right,
Kevin says you can do tournaments to get more people.
Yep, exactly, 100%.
Not only that is that I want to do I want to do kind of like a podcast I was telling you earlier on Mondays where it's a serious kind of people that want to know about home brewing or opening up, businesses, breweries or, merch or however you want to get more into the beer scene in any which way. And then I wanted to do like a podcast on like Thursday nights. Generally we upload videos on Wednesday. This week we're doing Is Untapped Worth It? That's a quick video. And then we're doing the Sour Hazy. You're in for that on Saturday?
Sure, yeah.
Sour Hazy Milkshake IPA.
Dude,
sour,
say that 5
hazy.
times fast, yeah.
Well, me and Donnie were calling it all the keywords. Because it's just like.
Just hashtag beer.
We just wanted to get viral. It's not going to go viral. Nothing's ever going to go viral on a beer homebrew channel.
Sour, hazy.
But it's all the keywords.
Sour hazy IPA.
Even like if you put
Lactose.
it on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lactose.
I've never had anything like that.
No.
Curious to try it.
Yeah.
Kettle sour?
Kettle sour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We'll shoot for
That's
like
Saturday?
Saturday.
I'm in town, so let's do it.
Let's do it. And then I think we're shooting on Sunday. We're doing a key lime hard seltzer.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah. Whoever wants to cruise over. Obviously you guys are invited. But I wanted to do like a Thursday podcast with Homebrew for Life where it's like pretty much drunken Mario Kart. Mario Kart, where you crack a beer and you have to finish the race. You crack a beer, you can't drink the beer. But before you finish the race, you have to have the beer finished.
100 cc, 150, or
150.
150. Okay, all right.
Come on, man. So, like, if you're smoking everybody, you got to hit the brakes right at the finish line.
You need
chug
everything.
your beer,
Yeah.
throw up your beer, and then,
I'll take an Uber home that night.
Yeah.
That's Thursday? All right.
I want to start doing that on Thursdays, like get that going in the garage.
Into it.
Like go back to retro video gaming and beer chugging. And
I'll bring the Switch. I got 4 controllers. We can try the new one.
Okay.
Too.
I've got a couple. I know Donnie's got a few.
Does he?
Yeah. I think. No, that's Xbox. No, we're good. So look forward to that. If you guys want to. Any more questions?
Yeah. What's the next one?
Chris Berry. All right. NBC. Shout out to Battle Mage.
Oh, hey,
NBC.
Chris. What's up,
Thanks,
buddy?
Chris. Cheers, Raj. Shout out to Battle Mage. If you guys are in the area, we've already talked about it like 20 times. Battle Mage Brewery.
Chris came in on the last video. Yeah.
Two donations
From him.
from Chris Berry. All right, man.
You gotta check the whole pint.
I wish.
Whoops.
No, you don't gotta. You don't gotta do anything.
Do I?
Yes,
He didn't like that. Shout out to Chris, Battle Mage. Whenever you're coming back from, Ryan had a kid. The other Battle Mage owner.
yeah.
So Chris is running the ship right now solo. So probably not going to see him for a little bit.
That's fair.
Can't wait for Battle Mage to open though. Any more questions in the comment
A
section?
while back, someone asked something about a nano brewery.
What's nano mean? Small or big?
I'd like to run a nano brewery style, maybe lease a bar with a big back room for brewing. And here is anything
Beer
like
roots?
that.
I would just say take a little
Kind of
bit
the kind of
bigger of
question we
a
already asked
risk,
you.
like a nano brewery. If you're talking about a half barrel size, everybody that started as a nano has definitely bumped up to, I would say, at least a 3-barrel system. So it is a good risk adverse way of opening up a brewery. Just know that you're brewing like a keg to 2 kegs at a time. You're never gonna leave if you're the brewer.
No, you have to have guys brewing around the clock if you're selling beer.
So at least start, at my opinion, would be at least a 3-barrel system. You can start a 3-barrel
Shout
system.
out.
It's super cheap.
Who's that? JD's Game Art. Thanks, brother. Cheers, bro.
Cheers.
And here's the thing. You don't want to invest too much in like a small system because the name of the game is you want to grow. So sooner or later you're going to have to
scrap that system, get a bigger one in, you can Frankenbrew a 10-barrel pretty simply,
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
How much resale value does commercial brewing stuff have? Thanks, Jules. Shout out to Jules, man.
I knew the answer to that. I don't know. It varies for each
Premier,
piece.
stainless,
I would think Premier would hold at least like 70% of its value.
So pretty good resale value.
Pretty good resale. But if you're like my Frankenbrew system, I don't think I could sell it for very much.
What is Frankenbrew system?
That means you're taking old dairy tank, old fruit tanks, and converting them over into a brewing vessel.
Oh, it's the ultimate bootstrap approach.
It is, and that's how we opened for so cheap, and that's how we were profitable very early on.
Shout out to Esteban.
You're killing it.
$10, brother.
$10.
Cheers, Esteban. Where are you from, Esteban? Seriously, not out in a bar in Phoenix? Cheers out there in Phoenix,
That's
Esteban.
cool, man. Hell yeah.
And Chris asks, how successful do you think booze trucks would be?
Booze trucks?
Booze trucks.
Can you elaborate on that? How successful would booze trucks be? We're talking about distribution. We're talking about self-distribution versus Chris Justin. Do you have a wild brew Philly sour yeast available? Sour yeast available? What do you recommend for sour yeast? Just really quick.
I do my kettle sours with. I honestly do anything I'm trying to kill off. The low acidity is going to make your yeast act very different. So I've used Belgian yeast. I've used Cal Ale. I've used lager yeast. All the good avail. My souring agent.
You use lager yeast for sours.
Yeah, permanent and warm. Yeah.
$59.
Yeah.
What?
Mexican pesos. So
Oh.
Shout out to Raul out there.
Raul.
Shout out there, man. Hey, Raul, what time is it in I think he's on Texas time. Yeah, do it. Thanks, brother.
So Chris was saying the booze trucks, it's a truck that has taps for service.
Oh, Bear Roots had one of those. You're pretty much talking about having taps on your van, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty much a mobile bar. I think it's good. Maybe if you're doing a lot of events, but I don't think that.
Check the laws too.
I don't know. Bear Root. Yeah, it was. There's probably a lot of loopholes, or I don't know. But Bear Roots had one. They had like 4 things sticking out of like a Ford Econo line.
Bars, rolling kegerators for like events.
Oh, he's talking about that?
Well, no, it's almost the same thing. Though.
Yeah, I would invest. Like pretty much. We're talking about like glorified jockey boxes, like Stohan FC. Cheers, brother. Who's that? Chris Berry. Stohan FC out there. Cheers, bro. Thank you so much. What did Chris Berry from Battle Mage ask? Sorry, I'm.
He made a statement. Do sours to kill the bacteria before going to the fermenter to avoid possible contamination of future brews.
We just made the video for that, the Del Pico Goza. What was the question? How to?
There was no question. It was a statement.
With kettle sours? Yeah. Mike does his kettle sours a different way. You want to talk about how you do your kettle sours without Good Belly and you do it with just Pilsner malt?
Yeah, just on milled Pilsner malt. I do
cheaper, but takes longer?
It takes 36 hours. I do 10 pounds for a 10-barrel batch. I just did it the other day. I get it down to about a pH of 3.4. No big deal. Make sure you keep it warm, 110 degrees.
You go that high?
Keep it at 110. Yeah. Try to, at least. I mean, it drops. And then
we did our Del Pico goes at 90, and it got to.
I've heard 90 to 110.
15 hours.
That's super good.
But that's Good Belly.
That's ready to go.
Probiotic. Yeah.
So it cost me like $6 for a 10-barrel batch of a kettle sour. Drive off all the oxygen. Whatever 10 pounds times, I don't know, $1 for Pilsner grain per pound, right? Less than that.
Yeah. German Pilsner grain?
Yep, just the lowest Lovabond, the most on-kiln Pilsner malt you can find.
What kind of license do you need for beer? The easiest one. It's just the beer and wine, right? $900 a year
to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nothing like a liquor license in California. Not even close. Can you even get a liquor license in California? Is it still like grandfathered in?
The cities determine how many they want in their radius.
So it's a lotto system or a grandfathered in system.
If you get grandfathered, so that's why buying a Stag and Lion would be so expensive.
$100,000.
They have a liquor license. Yeah, I would say it depends on the location. Yeah.
What's up?
$10.
Who's that?
Australia. Oh,
Australia.
Hey,
thanks,
supposed
man.
to go
what do you say? Shipping t-shirts?
Supposed to go to Alice Springs in May, but COVID happened. So didn't go.
I know nothing about Australia, but shout out. What was his name? Callum. Hey, man. Cheers from San Diego, brother. Appreciate it.
You got $5 from Cameron.
Love the streams. We'll keep it up. Cameron, CD. Cheers, man. Cheers from San Diego from Mike and CH and Babs behind there. Rock and roll,
Fantastic.
Man. Crazy, right?
And going back to that tap truck guy, he said he's from Long Island, so he didn't know when he wants to use a tap truck to promote his taste of room.
Again, I think you got to be hitting a lot of events.
Make sure
you have to do a lot of events, man. I mean,
$10 from John.
Who?
John Roberts.
Hen
House. Oh, fair enough. I've had.
Hey, John Roberts. Cheers, brother. Hey, CH and Mike and Babsy from Carlsbad right here, Carlsbad Village. Cheers, man.
I think that tap truck could do well renting it out to like weddings and stuff, That'd
be tight. That's a good idea. To rent your own car out.
Just having
it's pretty much a jockey box.
Basically.
As long as someone's driving it.
And then you're selling only your beer, selling it. Yeah, I think that would work pretty well. I haven't seen too much of that around here. I know Tap That in Oceanside, you can rent a trailer full of taps for whatever you're running.
A good video to make would be a jockey box. Jockey boxes are expensive to make. It's pretty much what we're talking about right now is a glorified jockey box, and our East Coast Long Island guy was talking about pretty much putting it on a car or a van.
There's somebody at Rhythm and Brews did that. Bear Roots did that. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But I thought about making a jockey box video for Homebrew for Life. There's a million out there.
I would just buy one.
I would just buy one too.
Yeah.
Because you need 2 stainless steel chillers.
Coil, you need the tap.
And if I wanted to do it, I wouldn't get like the plastic Coleman thing. I'd want like a legit stainless steel cooler.
Automatic Brewing Company,
which is $200 just to start with.
Yeah, that's
and then
exactly.
You're gonna drill into it, and then you're gonna have 2 pretty much $50 stainless steel, call it 25 3/8 inner diameter chillers.
Right.
All the gadgets, all the
it's just very intricate
nipples
things.
and draft lines, all the shit that goes into keg.
Maybe running a jockey box would be a good video, because I see some people afraid to push the pressure into it that it needs. It needs like 25 to 30 psi.
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
Is asking, does Culver do any shipping? Shipping looks like a nightmare.
You're talking about merch?
Shipping your product.
Shipping.
We're talking about shipping beer or merch for Culver Brewing.
Either or, we don't do it at this point. We're not at a scale to do it.
Homebrew for Life open to send us for tasting? Absolutely. Send it.
Oh yeah,
we have a P.O Box.
Really? Well, good for you, dude.
We have a P.O Box.
That's smart.
Well, because I used to do a bunch of video game trades. And my girlfriend would lose her fucking mind. It's like, all these people know where we live. I don't care. Who's over? I don't care who you are. Just don't fucking be a douchebag.
Culver doesn't do any shipping of anything at this point. We've kind of positioned ourselves to be small, and that was kind of our goal from opening, is just keep it nimble, keep it small. Neighborhood brewery, the local, and we'll grow slowly, and that's our longevity plan.
And Ben asked if he could send you homebrew.
As long as it'll survive the journey.
What's up?
As long as it survives the journey.
Dude, I'm shipping out so much beer tomorrow. And for everybody that won our flash giveaways, from this week, I did a couple flash giveaways. I'm sending them out tomorrow. I've got the bubble wrap right over there. I'm not lying.
Oh, wow.
I've got the flat rate boxes in the truck in my car, and I'm sending Booze Brothers beer tomorrow to Canada.
Really?
Colorado, Texas, and New Jersey.
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Real fucking deal. That's
You know what they're called? You know what you call a beer shipment? Porch bomb.
Okay.
Porch bomb, dude. There's no better feeling than coming home from like a shit day at work, and you have like this UPS thing, and you open it up, you think it's gonna be like a box of crayons and fucking used shoes.
Beer.
It's like beer from Portland.
That's beers you couldn't get otherwise,
Yeah. Any questions you got, Babs?
JD asked, what kind of equipment do you need to start a nano brewery?
You need the same equipment that a big brewery would have. You need a glycol chiller. You need your fermentation tanks. You need a bulk CO2 tank, however you go about that. So that's why I always recommend kind of maybe starting at that 5-barrel range, is just because you need all the same stuff for a nano brewery as you would need for
pretty much just scaling up, and it's just a scale up thing. It's all stainless steel. It's all stainless steel, and at some point you have to get away from gravity, right? Like you can't lift up 500. I mean, not 500, but you can't lift up 25 gallons of wort or something. So you have to get pumps with horsepower and but other than that, you
need the pumps for CIPing.
You're pretty much scaling up. I've always said that.
Make sure you can take a weekend off when you want it. That you're not needing to brew every single day of the week. That's why.
Well, that goes back to it's starting a brewery. I think from taking off riffing off what you said earlier, I think you want to start a brewery with one other guy.
Yeah,
I think that's it. Because I know friends that
share the risk. It's risky.
Share the risk, but I know friends that have started food trucks,
right,
with 3 or 4 different guys.
Oh wow, really? Yeah.
And it one,
too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks in the kitchen. There's the one guy that's the smart guy that brings everybody together, the band leader, right? And there's one guy that's the alcoholic.
Yeah.
There's one guy that's just dumb,
right?
Me. There's one guy that's has no concept of it. I think the most craziest thing in any business, bands, the company, is YouTube channel, Twitch channel, is getting people on your same page. I remember this teacher in college told me that never worked for a company that doesn't have a mission statement. And at the time I thought it was such a joke. was like, well, I don't give a shit what your mission statement is.
I just want to work hard.
I just want to work hard. But like it took me a long time to realize and think about that. I was like, and this was a smart teacher. This was like a teacher that didn't just go through the motions. He wanted everybody involved. And
Right.
like, most teachers just collect a paycheck, go off the curriculum that somebody wrote 20 years ago. But he legitimately said that to me. It took me so long to figure out the hardest thing in any business. You're going to have a partner. You're going to have to partner with someone. They have to be on your page.
Right.
Your page, their page.
A business partnership is a relationship that, unless you've done it before, it's foreign. It takes some work. It's as any other relationship.
I would even trickle it down to like, I had roommates in college. I was the worst college roommate ever. But like, you have to have love.
Yeah.
Like you have to have love.
And
like people getting along is like love. And if you have one guy that comes in that wants to fuck everything up, that could destroy the college house on a small scale. That could destroy the business. Like, and I talked to my buddy. He owned a mac and cheese food truck. And he managed Naked Cafe here for like 10 years. Just a real go-getter dude. And he was like, I said to him, if you had 4 views, obviously he was going to say this, but I said, if every decision was up to you, would you still be around? He said, without question. Absolutely.
A yes, a resounding yes.
Yeah, like no doubt about it. Like what brought us down was we had too many cooks in the kitchen that weren't on the same page.
I need to put in my place sometime. I need to be put in my place sometime.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
If you can take it.
I can take it. I don't mind.
A lot of people.
I need the other outside viewpoint.
A lot of people.
Otherwise, I'm just mashing out all the time and getting mad.
A lot of people can't take constructive criticism. Some people, I bitch out. I can be a bitch. I can take it.
It's any other relationship. It's a unique style of a relationship, is being partners in a business. Give and take.
Sure.
So that was a tangent. What's the next question?
JD asks, do you have any recommendations for a flat barrel system, or are they all good?
For a 5-barrel system?
Yeah.
Frank and Brew. Save a bunch of money.
Frank and Brew. Do what Northern Pine did.
Literally like $60,000.
So what do you? Okay, so
He's got $20 by the way.
$20.
Crash. Who's that from?
Crash Override.
Hey, Crash Override. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for that. Cheers from San Diego. From
Baltimore.
Baltimore. Cheers,
All right,
Crash. So with that, going back to Jules, JD Game Art. That guy sent me some pretty cool game art a little bit ago. He's a little barrage out there. Okay, so how do you get Frankenstein stuff? Go to Dairy.
Oh, eBay, Craigslist.
Just look for pretty much
shells
of stainless steel.
Yeah, make it work for you. We bought our 2 different vessels. They came from New Jersey, and then it's not rocket science to brew. So like, you don't need to be spending X amount of dollars to Premier Stainless or SS Brewtech or any of these other companies. If you're just understand, this is why I recommend working in a brewery, is so you understand the process. So when you decide to open your own brewery, you can Frankenbrew it and make it happen. The whole point is to make it quick and easy for you to brew.
Frankenbrew means bootstrap.
Just taking tri-clamp barrels and welding it to a tank. Find a sterile stainless steel welder and have them invest in you. Make them work for mostly cash, but see if they'll work for a gift card or some free beer down the road. And that's a big thing. We leverage that quite a bit at times. You
scored an intern. Obviously,
I have many interns.
You have many interns. Yeah. Here's a good thing. Opening up a brewery, there's a lot of college extensions programs or colleges where, people that have brew programs where people are trying to get hours
resume
or whatever.
Boosts. Yeah.
Obviously, the biggest thing for any company in the world, their biggest overhead is labor.
Hands down, yeah.
Salaries and labor. Focus on that. Get a young, eager kid. Who cares if he's even 21?
I've had high school students work for me for an internship program through a local high school.
Hear that?
They're not drinking. Their parents are coming in and enjoying the product, but
that's crazy.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
I guess there's people that work at pizza places that don't eat pizza, or people who work at donut shops that don't eat donuts. But like usually, you would think you'd get into beer because you are a beer drinker.
All the people I've only had one high school kid. He's actually my full-time assistant brewer at this point. Tim, he's trying to move to New Zealand or Australia to go brew down there, and we're moving that ball forward. But to answer your question about the
focus on the interns, like focus
on the interns if you have
free
them available.
labor, I'd rather take a kid that I'm not paying. He's probably got more passion than like some 40-year-old guy that's like window washer.
It's hard work. It's labor intensive, But for the smaller,
another booch, non-alcoholic booch.
I would say anything under a 10-barrel system, you can easily Frankenbrew and save a lot of money. Is kind of my point in it all. You don't need to be spending exorbitant amount of monies on something that's very simple by nature. Just make it easy on yourself to do, understand the process. And my brew days are 5.5 hours. We have a Frankenbrew system that didn't cost us very much money, and we brewed well over 300 batches on it. No big deal.
So if you guys are new to the stream or new to hear kind of the points that we're banging on, and again, this is the exact opposite of a Homebrew for Life video. This is just a live stream where it's just raw. But what we're talking about, if you want to start a brewery, start with a partner, start with, the Kickstarter, the GoFundMe, if it's there, collect as much money from the community as possible. I have friends that I'd, throw money at a heartbeat, or cousins, or, family, siblings, without even thinking about it. Bootstrap, don't buy the, just because you have
don't need
a loan or
the
something, you don't need to buy,
the Lamborghini of everything.
You don't know. And I remember when Chris Berry from Battle Bench got me into brewing, I'd show him like these fermenters and these kettles, $250, $200. And he was like, yeah, they're nice, but they're not necessary.
Yeah. I mean, look at Sierra Nevada when they opened up back in the late 80s or whatever else. Like, everything was Frankenbrewed. There was nothing out there available.
It probably came from a bunch of
there it is. There's Ned. That's his name. Ned the Streetwalker.
Ned the Streetwalker. I bet it probably came from most dairy shit to begin with. Like, how did brewing equipment start? It probably came from
absolutely 100%
grain silos or dairy dairy farms. Or
we adopted our tri-clamp systems and all that stuff from the dairy industry. So
what was that one on there? I saw
how hard is it to get federal brew and distillery license?
I know nothing about distilling because it's illegal as a home brewer, so I don't even fuck with it.
Distilling, I don't know much about. I know your fire requirements are going to be much larger than a brewery, but they want to license you as a brewery, so it's not that difficult to get. You're going to have more of a problem with the city that you're opening in with opening a brewery than the actual ABC or the federal license. So I remember being very nervous about our ABC appointment to get approved, and it took 15 minutes and no big deal. They just want to make sure that I had a way of recording how much beer I was packaging so they could get their tax dollars, which is fine. Understood.
Distilling
is a whole different world.
I don't even talk. I can get my YouTube channel pulled if I try to do distilling at home.
You think so? Oh yeah. Sure. Okay, it's illegal.
Oh,
yeah.
Sure.
Right. Okay.
I mean, what if we find some loophole? Hey, let's go to Canada this weekend and make this YouTube video.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's not even worth the heat. It's not even worth it.
I forgot home distilling is not as kosher as home brewing is.
Homebrew for Life probably won't even make it till the end of this year. We're getting copyrights, and we're getting strikes. And did you watch the strumming video?
I did not. No.
I'm always using Mega Man X songs. I'm always ripping off. Some developers look at it as promotion, and some people look at it as copyright infringement. So we made a video.
I know you got to be careful about everything you do, really.
And they're worried about the audio. The audio is the easy fix. I throw in clips from 90s movies, 90s kids.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, distilling, that's strike 2 or strike 3 for Homebrew for
So
Life.
there's really no home distilling videos out there?
They are, but they're from 2016 plus. If you do it now, I don't know. YouTube's bullshit, man. YouTube, they flagged our video for the search
Are you
thing.
getting in trouble that's just saying YouTube is bullshit?
Nah, fuck YouTube, dude. Here's the thing: keep it fair for everybody, or get rid of it. Like when we did the search strumming video, we were throwing up and shit. Me and Dave barfed up the I don't know, seared herring or fermented herring.
Oh, I did see that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did watch that one. You're right.
So they flagged us for having bodily fluids, and then
fluids.
Okay. Yeah, but then if you look at other search strumming, there's so many reaction videos on YouTube where everyone's throwing up or freaking out or doing some weird shit. So I appealed it. Shout out to America. We have the best country for our endless appeal system. You can appeal anything in this country. And we got it. And they said, all you have to be is you have to sign it and make sure that you're over 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So they took the
reasonable at the very least.
They took the strike back, or the slap on the wrist back, and you just have to be signed in, and if you're not signed in,
You can't watch it.
You can't watch it.
Okay.
So YouTube's rad. I think YouTube is I think YouTube is the pinnacle of the internet, but they're trying to do the whole like Disney thing, you know. Like,
Make up to your overlord. YouTube's cool. Yeah.
What's up?
Make up to your overlord. Yeah.
Well, Twitch is like probably the best platform.
You think so? I don't know what you want.
Well, if you're talking about like actual like, if you want followers on social media on any platform, Twitch is the best.
Okay.
As far as conversion rates, like Instagram, there's like beer accounts that have 20,000, 50,000.
Sure, exactly. Yeah.
But there's no like, it doesn't roll over to a charity or a business. It's bragging rights. It's Enron. It's monopoly money.
Right.
For a lot of, but like
It's
Twitch,
clout.
right? It'd be okay if you have 50,000 Instagram followers versus Twitch, 50,000 Twitch followers.
Okay.
Night and day.
Is Twitch
like,
their own separate thing? Are they owned by anybody?
Twitch started this whole live stream stuff, and then YouTube ripped it off.
I see. Okay.
Like the live chat, the donations. Twitch did that, like started that like 10 years ago.
And this is their interpretation of it.
This is YouTube's ripping off Twitch night and day.
Okay.
But Twitch is way more like
It's owned by Amazon.
it's owned
It
by
is.
Amazon.
It is. Okay.
Twitch
Interesting.
But Twitch is more like fuck censorship.
Okay.
YouTube's more like Disney Channel.
Right.
So YouTube takes shots at us and rips our shit down from here to time. It's like, hey, I love the platform of YouTube. I don't really do Facebook or Instagram. Like if I'm kind of going to attract attention to myself, I'm going to go after kind of, it's like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, TikTok,
Right.
music. They're completely different from having one.
Different grades.
Right. And then at the top is Twitch.
I see.
And then down it's like YouTube.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Like having 1,000 followers or subscribers or likes means completely different things from one platform to another.
Right.
They have completely
There's
different
so many
conversions.
platforms. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like.
We got any more questions out there?
Yeah. Sorry.
Cameron
I'm
asks, do you brew on homebrew scale when testing new recipes at Culver?
Oh, at Culver.
Say it again. Repeat the question.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, they can't hear him.
Do I brew on a smaller scale at Culver before I scale it up? Not really. Unfortunately, I wish I did. And
Barrage.
I have the unique position that I help mostly run a college program here at Miracosta College with a 1-barrel brewing system. And I let the students kind of brew whatever I have in mind over there, along with 2 other instructors. Before Miracosta started up,
Can you throw the Kavik video in the chat?
I took at the end of the Kavik video is a nice little spiel about the Miracosta program. Orientation is tomorrow if you guys are interested.
I couldn't believe that you run a business and then run that.
I like beer. I really do like beer quite a bit. And
I love your passion.
so we have a 1-barrel system over at a community college here in North County in Oceanside. And but before all this, no, I didn't have any opportunity to brew on a pilot scale. I took the risk. I felt confident in myself. It's at the end of the day, if your recipe is 80 to 90% where you're hoping it to be, and you have good, healthy yeast,
It's just going to get better.
Your sterilization practices are on point, your beer is going to turn out very drinkable. It's just a matter of did you find the balance? Is the bitterness where you want it? Is the hops that you're using for the dry hop what you're hoping for? At the end of the day, as long as it's drinkable and cleanly fermented, you're going to be fine. And then you can just kind of hyper analyze it as the head brewer. So I don't take too big of a risk. I haven't brewed a seltzer or anything at Culver. And we
just showed up on our end. The link, Kavik.
I wish I really did have an opportunity to pilot brew, but there's just not enough time in the week to pilot brew. I got to move through my batches. So there's only 2 people in the back of the house. But good question. Honestly, I know a lot of breweries out there. Donnie from Booze Brothers has an extensive pilot system.
Donnie's also got 4 other employees than you, so he's got more.
He's got Mari as the head lead, I would say.
The older you get, the more you figure out that the time is worth more than money. It's the truest thing in the world.
And even so, scaling up from a homebrew system
Donnie
to a
can
production
experiment
brewery
all day, dude. Donnie can experiment with Al Farms, Goza beers all day.
And Al Farms is an experiment, and great stuff has come out of it because Donnie has been persistent on the small scale.
Cheers, Jay.
Scaling up from 5 gallons to 10 barrels isn't linear by any means. So I would have problems. I just don't think it would be too beneficial for us. We're willing to take the risk on a 10 barrel, 7 barrel at the smallest to get new recipes out there.
And you got to keep the passion with brewing. Like a lot of people that homebrew, like people, you get in and you get out. Like people think that probably the same thing how it is working at a brewery. It's like there's a lot of work just to brew a 5-gallon batch of beer. There's a lot of work just to understand extract brewing. There's a lot of work to understand how to build your own mash tun and go to all grain brewing, right? Like keep the passion, like whatever it takes, like whatever. Watch homebrew videos on YouTube, follow shit on Instagram or Twitter, like
go visit your local brewery, see what they're brewing.
Right. Like I talked to other YouTubers and other YouTube channels. They're like, yeah, I started this channel, and this guy all of a sudden just like quit the channel. He stopped wanting to homebrew anymore. It's like, I get it. It's like anything. Go to the gym. Once you stop going to the gym, it's way harder to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start, putting your guitar down and you pick the guitar back up, it's way harder to go back. Be consistent with brewing. We all brew. We all get our brutal hangovers 2 or 3 times a month. Figure out how to not get those. I'm still trying to figure that out.
I had one on Saturday. I haven't had one for a while. It was rough.
Stop drinking IPAs after 10 o'clock. Switch to water. Smoke weed. That's what I do. I smoke weed. I drink beer so much, and I'm never in trouble. I'm not that overweight. Like, keep the homebrewing beer passion alive.
Absolutely. 100%, dude. Yeah.
People get in and they get out. And then all of a sudden you're flipping all your shit on Craigslist for all the,
Make sessionable beers they can drink a few pints of and blow through your batch.
Yeah. Drinking and like not getting drunk is like an art. It's like being bad with money.
It's taken me like 6 to 8 years to figure it out in this industry.
I'm better than we're all better than
we were. Yeah.
But, yeah, dude, if you start drinking at a barbecue at noon, don't go for the 8% IPA.
Yeah, double IPA right off the bat. You'll go to bed by 6. Yeah.
You won't even make it to 6.
So,
shit, dude.
All right, next question.
Callum asks, do you get better quality beer as you move up the scale from homebrew equipment?
Oh, it's way easier to brew on a big system than a small system.
You think so?
I have hundreds of gallons of water to deal with. Connor.
Cheers, Connor.
Connor Bowles.
Connor Bowles. Cheers, brother. Cheers from San Diego.
Yeah, it's way easier to brew 300 gallons of wort than 5 gallons of wort. I have a lot more wiggle room to deal with. An extra ounce of hops isn't going to affect my IBUs all that much. I do have a lot more success on the bigger system at Culver than at the smaller system at Miracosta on the 31-gallon side of things. I have a lot more. Just it's my gradients are a lot bigger on a 300-gallon system.
Fair enough.
About an hour
I hate
and a half in right now.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
I'm telling you. You guys want to wrap it? You want to do one more half pint or?
Let's get a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up.
Sure. Yeah. 2 more.
Asking, there's no more.
That's it?
All right. Well, let us know what you're drinking tonight. This is really good. I'm drinking the
Don't
Street
let
Walker.
us deter you from opening a brewery. We're just trying to make it as real as possible.
Absolutely
it's
not.
Fun as hell. I love working in the brewing industry. I don't know if I'd be a part of any.
What tools do you use to scale recipes? I just use Beersmith.
Beersmith
3. There's another competitor now. There's good software out there that's super cheap.
Beersmith, hands down, 100%. His podcast is amazing.
Brad Smith
Brad Smith. Yeah,
Brad Smith. I made a video on it.
Did you?
Just how to navigate. It's any software looks scary as hell when you first look at it.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
the easiest program ever.
And you just make the variables work for you. Again, I would pay the $29 a year just for the podcast of Beersmith.
Oh, for sure. And that's not something you want to pirate. Show love to beer. That guy
worked hard.
Whether he outsourced it or whatever, it doesn't matter.
I don't think he did. I think he did it all himself.
He programmed that?
He's a PhD. He's a smart dude.
He's a computer programmer?
Oh.
Rock and roll.
So definitely Beersmith.
Beersmith all the way.
There's some free ones out there too. Don't get me wrong, but I like Beersmith.
Yeah, but I fucked around with a lot of apps that did not pan out. Beersmith is legit.
I teach Beersmith at the community college program.
You teach it at your college program. Okay. Another question?
What beers would you filter?
Pilsners? Czech Pilsners?
Yeah, but if you're on a smaller system, I get super crystal clear beer. Hold your beer up to the camera. That's just a good,
This is the Street Walker West Coast IPA. So this is what you want it to look. This looks like a pizza port beer.
Exactly. Starting with the kettle with your Irish moss or your Whirlflock. Gelatin. No, sorry, in the kettle. So we're talking about Whirlflock in the kettle.
Sorry.
Knock it out. Use your Clarity Ferment, the fermenter, pre-fermentation, post-fermentation. use your biofine. You're going to get crystal clear beer without a filter. I have a problem with some filters as it introduces oxygen. So you don't, just where modern home brewing and production brewing is at, you don't need to use a filter for a lot of things. If you're going over 20 to 30 barrels, I recommend using a filter. But anything under that, you're just trying to kick protein and polyphenols, your tannins out of solution, and there's plenty of options in our current marketplace. So, yeah.
Solid answer.
Thank you.
One more question.
Yeah. Ben asks.
Same Ben.
Ben Wilson. What about brewing and fermenting at an established brewery and then opening a tap room to sell?
Let me repeat the question. What about opening up a
ferments at an established brewery and then open a brewery tap room to sell the beer?
So I don't know if I understand the question.
Like, are you talking about white labeling your own beer?
Like use someone else's.
I don't understand most things though.
Like brew your beer at somebody else's spot. I have no problem with that. I do that for a couple bars around town. They might.
Why'd you start without me? DNR's late to the table, man. We're gonna just start doing this every Monday. We're new to it, and we have no idea what we're doing yet. But
if you want a white label
contract,
beer,
contract brewing. Brewing. Got it. Yeah. A lot of them do it.
Absolutely, it's completely legal to do. I know we've done it for a few people. I know Booze Brothers.
I could say Beacheries.
Oh, Beacheries, yeah. I mean, Ashland. I think there's a lot of people brewing out of Mission right now.
Is it fucked up to say Beacheries is probably the next brewery to go under?
I don't think they're going to go under. I think they have a pretty big brand presence.
Who's the next brewery to go under?
We
can't do this.
Bad juju. Super bad juju.
Yeah,
especially during COVID right now. I don't want to do that.
Pray for commerce. Pray for commerce. Turn the dollar over.
Who has gone under? It's been Iron Fist, and it's been I don't know what's up with Indian Joe's.
I'll tell you off camera, but I know there's a brewery that's like.
Then there's been some other ones not related strictly to COVID, but
I'm calling a spade a spade. It's.
No, fair enough. Understood.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call the next one going under, but there has been a few gone under because of it.
I mean, there was a lot of breweries that were just breaking even before COVID.
That's what I'm saying. You choose your business model and run with it.
There's a lot of restaurants and coffee shops that are breaking even.
Absolutely.
Dealing with lawsuits or
contract brewing.
Bullshit.
If you own a tap room or a bar, you can white label a brand. So, for instance, like the Streetwalker IPA, you can buy it as another brand as long as it says brewed by CULVER Beer Company. You can call it whatever you want. As long as it has the ABV and where it was brewed very specifically. So I have white labeled a couple brands through CULVER, and they just call it their own. It doesn't matter that they're buying the Mad Neighbor American Blonde. As long as they know it was brewed by CULVER Beer Company is all that's legally required, and have the alcohol percentage.
And I don't even think it matters. I mean, it's like when you buy a T-shirt off somebody, it's like it's coming from like China or Singapore or Indonesia. It's like, but you're still buying the brand
from them.
Them.
Exactly.
They're not making the T-shirts in the breweries.
Yeah, hit up your local brewery wherever you're at, and I'm sure they'll be absolutely happy to white label a brand for you.
Hey, one more question. I see them coming in hot now. There's a lot.
Kind of more like statements, but have you tried Second Chance Beer Company from Encinitas?
Second Chance.
Second Chance is from I believe near Rancho
Temecula?
Penasquitos. It's near PQ. Great stuff. Marty is a legend in the local San Diego area. He's been brewing for a super long time. I recommend anything Second Chance does. Many GABFs. Marty's a fucking legend.
So the road to beer is not easy. It's a lot of blue collar. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of cleanup. There's a lot of research. There's a lot of reality. I don't know what it takes to open up a brewery, but to all those people that still have the passion, keep it going. The world is yours. You want to sit at home all day and complain about how shitty the world is on Facebook. You want to go out and be an entrepreneur. It's up to you. Like
in the brewing world, if you like working on your feet, it's a very much earn your salt industry. Get into it for a couple of years and you'll find a happy home in the industry. Absolutely. I know a lot of our friends have.
Do you think there's a lot of people that
you just got to work hard?
But I think the majority of the people that own breweries probably didn't work at breweries. They just went from home brewer to business owner, like Booze Brothers. No, I guess Dave and Donnie worked. Because I know you worked at Manzanita.
Yeah, I think the majority of the
Chris
cases.
and Ryan worked at
Mother Earth
in Ballast Point.
right?
Okay.
I think the majority of people have worked in production spots.
Okay.
And I know Booze Brothers is crushing it right now, but definitely they opened 6 years ago. In the beginning, there was a learning curve, scaling up from the 5.
Just get in. Just get in.
And they did a good job. They
timing
came
is
in
everything.
right at the right spot. So
Timing is everything.
Booze Brothers is crushing it. I love Donnie and Maury over there, and Chris and Dave. And
Maury will be on the podcast on Thursday night.
is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of him.
Is that Quiz? Quizberry? Could be anything the beer is touching. All right, we're going to sign off, guys. Thank you for sticking around. This was cool. This was definitely way better than last week's. Do you think the audio worked out, Babs?
Sounded good.
Sounded okay?
Sorry for being late.
Sorry for being late. We're going to re-upload this as a whatever the title was, How to Open a Brewery in 2020, minus the COVID part. Shout out to all you guys for sticking around, man. Cheers, wherever you are in the world. Wherever you guys are in the world. And we're going to start doing this probably twice a week. This is so easy. This is so much easier.
It is. It's way less.
It's just virtual happy hour.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
honestly.
virtual chill out.
I like the people that can just chime in right there. What's that last question?
Well, here's and I've said this before, like women's college yeah, we're not watching that. Women's volleyball. You're on your own. Whoever wrote that better have been a joke. Sorry. And I think the thing about YouTube is that there's a million like Instagram beer accounts that are just looking for the shine. Right. They don't give a fuck about the brew process or brewing or
I see too many
the marketing going.
Yeah.
It's all just smoke and mirrors.
Uh-huh.
How much, feedback.
How many likes can you get?
Absolutely. But I think this is like a real like community. Yeah, I agree. And if you have any, and this isn't San Diego. This is people that are Baltimore, Mexico, like all over East Coast. East Coast. So if you have a dream of opening a brewery, just do your due diligence. Brewer Association is going to help you out immensely. Look at your local, Idaho. Brewers Guild, Idaho. Yes. Joey, cheers from Idaho. Many good breweries coming out of Idaho. Just hit up the Brewers Association in the state of California. We have the CCBA. Look at your local state and look at your local region. In San Diego, we have the least favorite beer to brew. Guild. Belgians. What's that? Someone said, "What's your least favorite beer to brew?" I just Belgians. I like Belgians. That's just my preference. We could probably keep this going for 2 more hours. I know we gotta cut. But shout out to everybody. Keep the beer passion alive. Be true. Be real. Passion comes and goes. Passion's a fashion. But stick around. Keep getting better. If you guys want to plug any of your things you got going on, I know Wackadoo out there in Colorado starting a brewery. Hell Brews. My buddy out there, if you guys want to watch homebrewing videos in Spanish, he's out there on the eastern side of, I don't know, Mexico all too well. But check out his channel, give him some love, and that juju will come back. I don't know. There's plenty of resources out there, and just don't be afraid to plug each other's shit. You guys want to, fuck it. Twitter, Instagram, whatever if you guys are promoting a brand or a t-shirt or a whatever, throw it up in the chat room. It's not like we consider it spam or anything. And that's about it. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks, guys. I gotta repeat again. Cheers, guys. Have a good night. Yeah, dude, that one. That was fun. Yeah, it goes way faster, huh?